Hi, this is the sixth part of this site modelling and rendering set of tutorials, and we've set the basics up of the scene, and we now need to look at a bit more detail in adding materials. We'll kind of concentrate in the top view just now, so we'll maximise that, and I'll change this from wireframe to default shading so we can see when the materials go on to the objects. So we'll get our materials editor. Okay, I'm going to leave white as it is and move on to the next available material, and I'm going to rename this to grass. Okay, it's maybe wise to give it a different base colour, so we'll just give this a green just so we kind of generally know what's happening with the material. Okay, and I'm looking now for the generic maps. So we're looking for the generic maps kind of rollouts, and we're going to swap the base colour, which is white at the moment, which is green at the moment, for a picture. So you click the word no map, we go to maps. So this is a browser that's built into 3D Studio. So it's maps, general, and double click bitmap, and the pictures are all on the USB drive. Okay, depends where you've saved your material to. So USB map test model, go into the folder. I need to view this as icons, it would help. I'm looking for a picture of grass. There it is, grass HR tidied. So the 1500 is because it's 1500 pixels by 1500. Names of files vary greatly depending on the sources. Some are very explicit, some are just very general. Click open. Okay, let's have a look at a preview of the material. Okay, so there's something happening here. You can see there's a kind of a repeated pattern, but the computer's deciding on the repetition at the moment. Okay, to stop it doing that, look for a button here that says use real world scale. Turn that tick off. Okay, we can now see the JPEG of the grass pasted all the way around the sphere. So the material is ready to use. Okay, now the grass object is pretty big, so you could quite safely drag that over, and you can see that the little pop-up next to your cursor shows you which object is under the cursor. So 3D site ground. Okay, now it's showing as the original green colour that we selected. Okay, to stop it doing that, you go back to the parent level and click this icon here, show shaded material in the viewport. It's like, okay, it's colour-wise it seems to be matching the material now, but we're getting this strange triangulation effect because the object hasn't got any material mapping coordinates applied, and this determines how often the picture is repeated on the object. So we need to modify the object. At the moment it's saying camera 01, so click once on the ground object, site ground, modify, choose a modifier from this drop down list, Uvw Map. Okay, something's happening now. You can see the pattern, but it's very big, so it's very small and very repetitive. Take the tick off real world map size. Okay, I've just zoomed out slightly, I just rolled my mouse backwards, and you can see this orangey brown shape. This is our mapping icon. The little tag at the top indicates the top of the JPEG that was used. Okay, so you can see it's kind of pasted the picture just once on the whole, over the whole object. That's unrealistic as well, so we've kind of gone from one extreme to the other. Okay, the type of mapping here is okay. Planar mapping just projects from the sky downwards. So we're okay with the type of mapping. It's the sky, it's the size of it. So let's make this a bit more realistic. Let's say that that picture represents 8 meters by 8 meters. Okay, so that's in proportion to the object, that looks a bit more realistic. Okay, the pattern still looks a bit repetitive. We can deal with that by rotating the icon. So what we need to do is activate the mapping. So you click this blue strip. We want to rotate the mapping, and then if I choose the grey circle, click, hold and move your mouse up and down, we can just adjust the angle to something a bit more random. So this just helps kind of randomize things a little. Doesn't look such a repetitive pattern if it's rotated slightly. Now remember to click back on this slot here, or you won't kind of escape from the editing mode. So put it back, and now we're in control of the object and not the mapping icon. Okay, so that's our first material assigned. Let's try another fairly simple one. Let's go for the footpath. Okay, we could start again with this white material, or you could use the grass one. Okay, because some of the paths are already set up, it's been told to show. Okay, so a few of the things are already ready to go, and it just makes things a bit easier and a bit less clicking. So we'll change this to path. Let's use caps. Okay, give it a slightly different base color. Okay, and we're swapping the picture. So we're looking again for the generic maps, base color, and if we swap this file for a different one, we're kind of good to go. So we click on its file name, click on its file name again. Let's view this by icons, and I'm looking for a gravel material, GR dark. So GR dark. Open. Okay. Go back up to the parent level. Okay. Let's try it slightly differently now. This time let's pick the object first and then assign the material to the selection. Okay, so we can just about make out that triangulation again. So it's needing its material mapping added. So go to the modifier, drop down the list, find Uvw Map. This time, real world map size is actually going to be okay. If I zoom in, the gravel looks about the right scale. Okay, perhaps a little bit of rotation to disturb that pattern, or just leave it as it is. Okay, let's do the road next. So we'll copy path into the next slot, and we'll call this road. Adjust the base color slightly. Let's make it bluish. Okay, and we're looking for the picture again. Base color, file name. Pick the file name again. Goes back to the same folder, and I've got a picture of Roadway here. This is going to be a bit more tricky because it does have a definite direction. We want the white lines in the road to be facing the right way on our model. So open that. Okay. Try something slightly different this time. Let's choose the object by name. So it's layer road surface. Okay. Assign to selection. Okay. Add the Uvw Map modifier. Zoom in. It's looking strange, like kind of some kind of woven texture. Okay, if we turn off real world mapping, it looks even weirder. We're getting single white lines going the wrong way. So we need to rotate the picture by 90 degrees. So activate the mapping, get the rotate command. Now if you want, you could type in 90 degrees at this point here. You could put on the angle snap toggle, which restricts your angle movements to 5 degrees, and rotate it yourself. You see it kind of jumps around in 5-degree increments. Either way, you'll get the same result. Now the problem is here, the shape of the icon is complete opposites to the shape of the object. So try this option here, fit the mapping to the object. That's looking closer, but the white lines are much too long. Okay, and this is where you could either reduce the length of the mapping. I'll show you that happening. Start to see the white lines repeating. So you could do it that way, or have it fitted, but say that you want 3 or 4 repetitions in a certain direction. Now I always get this the wrong way around, so I think I'll go for V and try 4. I was lucky this time. Okay, so you see it's repeated the picture 4 times over the whole length of the object. Using that, you get a very neat mapping assignment. It works well. So remember to deactivate. Okay, let's do the curbs before we forget. We've got curbs along the front here. Okay, so we'll copy our material. Okay. So remember to give them their own name. It's very important. You can't have the same name repeated twice for material. So curbs. Let's change the color of the base material. Okay. Swap the picture out. Base color. And to change that. Change its name again. And I've got a simple concrete. Okay, called grade con. Oh no, I was using this one, concrete 032. I'll use this because it's got some lines in it. This makes it look as if we've got curbstones, individual curbstones. So click open on that. Okay, let's have a look at the material. Okay, click the curve object, or select it by name. Go back up to the parent level and assign the material to the selection. Now this isn't working so well because the picture is getting projected from the top down. We need it to be projected from the side. So the mapping we need to use is slightly different. So it's Uvw Map again, but instead of planar, it's box. Okay. We don't want it to be real world map size. Okay. Let's go for 2 by 2 by 2. I'm going to change this view to use the orbit command, so I can zoom in closer and have a look at what's happening. Okay, that's looking quite good. We're seeing lines there. Now we're getting also a horizontal line, which doesn't look too good. So what we need to do is rotate this box slightly. So Uvw Map, using the yellow icon, I'm just going to rotate it. Take the angle lock off. Oops, try and rotate it so it's in line. I'm also going to move it downwards slightly. And that should make sure we don't see the horizontal line. Just get the vertical. Okay. Deactivate the mapping icon. Okay, and the final kind of simple material here is the kind of yard paving. So let's put that one on, and then we'll move on to the second mapping video for the roof and the fence, because they're a bit trickier. Okay, so this one here we'll call it paving. Okay, adjust its base color, and we'll swap it for another picture. Base color again. Okay, click the file name once more, and for this we're using Stonework 29 paving. Okay, you can see here it's quite big, 4000 by 2100. So we could use that as the basis for the mapping size. So if we said it was 4 meters by 1200, that'd be a good. Sorry, 4 meters by 2.1 meters. That would be a good starting point. Okay, go back up to the parent. It's a big enough object to just drag it on. We want to UVW map it. Make sure we pick the right object. Site pave. UVW map it. Planar is okay, but not real world. And weirdly, you need to put the smaller number in first, so that's we would consider the height, and then the width, 4 meters. So let's have a quick look. Probably about the right size for paving. But you can see here there's a joint in the paving. It would be good if that was in line with the front of the house. So let's have a look in the top view in wireframe. And if we move the icon into the corner of the walls, then we should have a joint mark, a joint position coming right from that corner. So you activate the mapping, and as we move it, you can see the material flying around. Okay, I need to get in much closer now to get this corner in line with this corner. Okay, it gets more and more accurate the closer in you get. So closer, 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 and that's probably about the limit. That can be done numerically, but we've just done that by eye for this one. So deactivate the mapping, and it's starting to look much more interesting now. Got some decent looking materials, and we're ready to deal with the fence and the roof and bring in some trees and finalise this in the next video.